Good morning, everybody. It is 8:11 a.m. It is December 9th. Welcome to my channel. This market is just continually making all-time highs, and we did that on Friday. And on Friday, we almost hit, all right, almost hit 6,100 on the SPX, and we're in positive gamma, which means that usually market makers, dealers, whatever you want to call them, who keep liquidity going in our markets. Whenever you have a large gamma like that, typically you'll see selling because they'll have to short futures to stay delta neutral on that position. Didn't quite hit it, almost went there, but basically that's what happened. They had to start shorting. Now this market wasn't bearish on Friday, right? Because the market basically wasn't that weak. However, we hit close to that 6100 level and basically pulled back a little bit, and that's what's going on, right? Nasdaq's kind of been relatively stronger. Okay. And the theme of the markets last week was like tech was strong, the rest of the market was weaker. That was kind of the theme of the week last week, right? So now what's happening also is some rotation. What you're seeing last week was a weakness in healthcare, um, staples, industrials, financials, and money going into tech. So that's kind of what you saw last week. That's why it was mixed. It wasn't a broad market like all time highs. It was a rotation into the kind of like the more Mag 7 stocks. That's kind of what happened last week. Okay, if you look at, I looked at the sectors this weekend, you had all pullbacks in industrials, financials, healthcare, staples, energy, and tech kind of went higher, right? So, meaning communications also and discretionary. So that's basically what happened last week. All right, without further ado, let's get into this. Good morning, Chief. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and buying profile to find structure in the markets, along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. All helps me find structure. Let me know the story of the market, and that is my edge. Okay, and I try to impart that edge on whoever watches this channel. Now, I did have somebody in the trading community I belong in was saying that because I had a kind of one-on-one with him 2 days. And he was like, "Oh my God, everything you're saying now makes so much more sense. Sometimes when I listen to you, I don't understand what the terminology you use is, but now everything's starting to make sense." So I know there's a little learning curve to some of the stuff I say. So, um, but again, if anybody has questions or comments, please leave them. Right now, trying to build this channel. We're over 200. Right, so please, if you're new, subscribe, set an alert. That would mean a lot to me. I do this every day, 8:10 a.m. I'll give you the story of the market, the lowdown, the market news, the economic calendar, and we go over trade scenarios, long and short. Okay, and if you enjoy it, please smash that like button. Now, I know I keep owing you these. I had a busy weekend, so um, I have to do these trading videos. I still have three in the chamber here. I have to put them out there, but you can check out my other trading videos. I post them on X at Gonzo719, also my YouTube Shorts, check them out, and TikTok, Gonzo719 Trader. All right, let's get right into futures. Okay, let's see what's moving markets this morning. Let's see who our leader is today. Ooh, the VIX. The VIX is up 5.32%. All right, now that could be we have CPI on Wednesday this week. All right, maybe a tiny bit of hedging there. We did have unemployment rise zero point 0.1 on Friday. Then we added more jobs. So interesting, right? Silver is up 2.62%. Now, full transparency, I did Buy some silver last week. I did buy some silver last week. I'm taking a nibble. I'm taking a nibble. So now it's a very volatile metal. So it's up 2.63%. So, and it's not a lot of money, right? $32. But yeah, I'm nibbling, and we'll see what happens with silver. Crude, it's bottoming out. It just keeps hitting this bottom, right? So have to watch it. 10-year yields up again, right? Up again, but it has pulled back. Gold's up 0.73. The dollar's up 0.58. Now, interesting, right? Stronger dollar and silver and gold are up. Generally, they are inversely correlated. Russell's up 0.36. The Dow's up 0.04. The ES is down 0.07. The Nasdaq's down 0.20. 30-year bonds being sold down 0.47. Bitcoin under 100K again, down 3.18%. Ether is down 4.79%. So Bitcoin's not being able to sustain over 100. Just have to watch that. Now, Mag 7 Plus. Let's do it. This is my one big regret from last week. I had a pullback. I had a trade on. I had notes written what trade I wanted to put on in Tesla, and it exploded, which I expected, but wasn't able to take advantage of it. It is up 2.31% now. Just to get all transparency here, the largest gamma strike, the largest gamma exposure strike in Tesla is 400. I expect a pullback. Now, if it's a deep one, I'm going to be interested. Now, it depends how it reacts to 400. I'm going to have to see it on watch. Okay? Have to really see. It's going to get a reaction. Okay? Berkshire Hathaway up on one. There's not many leaders here. There is some laggards. So let's start with the laggards. We got Broadcom down 0.26. Microsoft down 0.46. AMD down 1.61%. That's a pretty good laggard. Coinbase down 1.66. Nvidia down 2.22%. Now, in China is investigating some type of monopoly thing in China for Nvidia. And of course, I'm long in options with Nvidia. Not getting very much luck with some of my options plays lately. It's like, all right. As soon as I put this on, it already was in the money, the whole spread. I have time on it, but it's hilarious that it's getting negative news. So that's down 2.24%. Okay. Now, moving on to the top sector stock. CAT up 1.35. Okay. Exxon up 0.70. Chevron up 0.49. Energy had a pullback last week, like I said. UPS, if you look at a UPS chart, boy, it is at like extreme monthly lows. It went up on earnings and got destroyed. So I have a feeling that's bottoming out. I mean, it's really at a key level. So check out a chart of UPS if you want. All right, let's move on to laggards here. Who we got? Disney down 0.15. Qualcomm is semi down 0.69. Not surprising with Qualcomm. Let's go to our swing trade list here. Super Micro Computers. I just saw that they had more positive news. I think that the NASDAQ exchange extended or something like that with the NASDAQ exchange. So they were at 20 something dollars a share at one point, up to 48 right now, up 9.26%. Workday's up 8.85%. Palantir, and I want to call it Palantirs because I have tiers, because at $21 a share in that Japan unwind trade, it's going to haunt me because I wanted to buy it at 21 when it went to 21. And now Palantirs, I am crying. That thing is rocketing. It's at $81 right now. Wow, Alibaba shooting up 6% today. I believe China talked about some stimulus. All right. OpenAI up 4.29, Reddit up 4.14. Macy's, interesting, up 3.04. Gold Junior Miners up 2.47. PayPal up 2.41. Alcoa's up 2.38. Canada Goose up 2.21. And we'll finish it out with the one percenters here. Win. So this is China. So China stocks you can see here are pumping here. Up 1.89. Las Vegas Sands up 1.87. Oracle up 1.55. And Nike up 1.15. Okay, Nike. Now, let's look at some laggards here. Riot. Now, this is going to be crypto, Bitcoin related. Riot down 5.41. Mara down 3.52. Omnicon Group down 2.61. Bitcoin ATF down 2.56. SoFi down 2%. MicroStrategies down 1.78. Trade Desk down 1.55. Taiwan Semiconductors down 1.22. And AMC down 1.06. There's our laggards. All right. Let's move on to the guts of this market. And from what I said, we can gather here basic materials. Now, basic materials kind of, I believe, contains metals like Alcoa, aluminum. So that is the leader, and that's not a leader you want. All right, if you're a bull, all right, that doesn't move markets. Basic materials does not move markets. Energy does not move markets either. Up 0.64. Discretionary does. That's up 0.43. That's your Tesla, your Amazon, your Home Depot. Number of financials pulled back last week. They're up 0.16. Staples pulled back last week, up 0.16. Industrials pulled back as well last week, down 0.16. Utilities up 0.11. Healthcare is moving on me. It's flat. Communications is flat. Real estate flat. Technology, the most heaviest weighted sector in the S&P 500, is down 0.28 thanks to your Nvidia, right? Thanks to your Nvidia and your Microsoft and your Apple. Okay. Semis, all right, obviously that's your Nvidia, your AMD, Qualcomm, down 0.85. That is the laggard this morning. Semis, okay, semis, and that Nvidia has that negative news with China. All right, now we can go over to economic calendar, news, what have you. Let's do it. Let's look at the economic calendar for this week. All right, what do we have today? Nothing. Let me see the 1 star for today. Today, nope. So tomorrow API, Wednesday CPI. So that's CPI and 10-year note auction. Okay. Thursday PPI, jobless claims 30-year bond auction. And then Friday, not much. Not much Fed speak. Okay. That is our economic calendar. Okay. Now, let's go to some news here and see what's moving markets today. All right. Macy's stock rose 3.4 following a report that activist investor Barrington Capital is urging the retailer to create a real estate unit and consider options for its Bloomingdale's and Blue Mercury chains after building an undisclosed stake. That's why Macy's is moving. Tesla stock rose 2.3% after Deutsche Bank uh, highlighted the EV manufacturer as one of its top picks for 2025 in a note Monday, citing its leadership in autonomous driving technology and its ability to withstand industry headwinds. Here's the news for Nvidia. Stock fell 2% after China launched an investigation into the chipmaker over suspected violations of the country's anti-monopoly law, in a move that will likely be seen as retaliatory move against Washington's recent chip curbs. Yep. AMD stock fell 1.7 after Bank of America downgraded its stance on the semiconductor to neutral from buy, citing downside risks to 2025 outlook. Nokia ADRs rose 3.6 after JP Morgan upgraded its stance on the telecommunications company to overweight from neutral. Workday stock rose 8.9%, and Apollo Global Management stock gained 5.8, with both companies set to join the S&P 500. Interesting. All right. Now, let's look at what are we going to look at? Financial juice here. Let's check out the juice. We'll probably see the China stimulus. So here, China's Politburo. We will implement more proactive macro policies. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's read what China did. Let's see. China politics offsets China-led boost. Let's see. U.S. listed Chinese shares climbed, however, the following a strong close for Hong Kong's benchmark, while the offshore yuan recovered losses. The steps came after China's top leaders indicated that they will pursue a moderately loose strategy next year, a sign of further easing that will be welcomed by investors eager for additional stimulus. Chinese corporate bond yields are on the longest downward trend ever. Okay, that's what's going on. The juice. Let's look at upgrades, downgrades here. Do we have a list? Do we have a list? Let's see here. What's today? The 9th. All right, let's do it. Bank of New York, upgrade it. All right, so look, guys, some financials are already getting upgraded, right? Blackstone, upgraded. What else here? Hess, upgraded. Robinhood, upgraded. JD.com, upgraded. China stock, right? Let's see who else. McCormick, upgraded. Looks like Nokia, upgraded. PayPal, that's what PayPal's got an upgrade. Reddit, upgraded. Charles Schwab, upgraded. So financials again upgraded, right? Interesting. Um, VeriSign upgraded. Victoria's Secret upgraded. All right, let's move on to downgrades. AMD, we talked about that downgrade. Bioday Neutral, Bank of America. Now that's a financial that's been downgraded. Interesting. CBOE downgraded. Capital One downgraded. So interesting. You're getting some financials upgraded and downgraded. All right. All right. Let's move on to initiations here. eBay initiated at neutral. All right. Let's go to price target changes. We can get into daily charts. All right. We'll go to our raises first. Let's go. Target raise for Carvana, 300 to 330. Coinbase. That's interesting. Coinbase got a big upgrade, but it's going down because of Bitcoin. But it got a price target raise to 420 from 375. Now we go into target lowards. Let's see. Lucid Diagnostics. That's Lucid Diagnostics. Target lowered. Victoria's Secret. Oh, that's about it. That was a reiteration. We're done with this. Let's just move over to our daily charts. Let's just get right into the daily charts. Hey Chief, if you're there, are you on the run? Are you on the run? Oh well, maybe you're probably not. Then I'm taking that back because I know that what's going on with you. I'm assuming you're home. Maybe you're not. Um, all right. I don't know if I just put this up. I'll put it up again. All right. Let's look at SPY. All you could look at this is and say nothing bearish about this. It's bullish. You have a breakout, and then we kind of move sideways, right? Made a new all-time high, 609.07. Where are we now? 607.72. Oh, I'm heading to office. Okay. Um, where are we now? 607. What did I say? 607.70. We are pretty much flat, right? We're right at the close. All right. Let's look at futures. Remember, there's no overhead resistance, so we'll look at futures. So in futures, this is really imbalanced, right? One, two, three, four. This would be the fourth day in a row we move sideways. And now we're not correcting, right? So this is another way of correcting. You just move sideways so you can move higher. Now, can we move back down to here? Sure. But let's look at what we did. Um, this was the previous week's highs and lows. So the whole week you basically made new weekly range. Okay. So we got last week's highs at around 61.11. 60.96 is last week's lows. Okay, we're above last month's highs. So all bullish right here. Okay. Qs. Now, you can see the moves in the Qs have been more. Look at that. That's not a 3-day balance, right? Like the SPY. Now, the only reason is because I told you all those sectors pulled back except technology. But NASDAQ is pretty much almost all technology. It has some Eli Lilly. I believe it even has Costco, but that's not really heavily weighted. Okay, I think it even has PepsiCo. But really, the majority of it's all run by tech. Okay, so got an uptrend line here, right? Gap and hold. 2-day balance pushed up on Friday, right? And that's what we're looking at now. That right now we're at 525.70. We are at the upper third of the range. So right now you can see in the morning, um, tech is still holding the upper third of the range, and the ES is like flat. So even though Nvidia is down, Nasdaq still in bullish structure. Okay, let's look at the live look futures. So, like I said, 2-day balance pretty much pushed up, and now look, you made new all-time highs overnight, right here, and now you kind of like got a doji candle. We broke through last week's highs here in the overnight, back inside last week's range, which is here and here. Okay, we just have to see. I mean, wouldn't shock me even if we pulled back here. That would not be bearish. All right, so that's what's going on right now there. We're going to move on to the triple-headed monster. That's your 10-year yield, which has pulled back. Okay, and it's just moving, grinding lower. Right, this resistance became very important in the 10-year yield. So I might, again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. After this week's auction, I might look to add some 10-year notes to my portfolios. Um, so I'm probably going to do that. Now, the reason I would do that is to, they're at four. What is the yields at right here? 4.17. So you get that over 10 years. If I don't want to do anything with it, I'll get 4%, over 4%. Now, I believe that we're going to go, the rates should drop, and then I have an ability to just sell it for a premium. So that's how I'm looking at that, right? There's really no risk. If I keep it in my portfolio for 10 years, I get 4.17% around, okay, every year. And then if the rates drop to say 2, 1 and change, whatever, I can sell it if I want and get the capital back. So that's how I look at that, all right? So let's look at the dollar. Dollar is kind of doing the same thing, kind of pushed up here and just holding. Right now we have CPI this week, so that could move the dollar. Let's look at our fear gauge here. That's VIX, and we don't have a lot of fear. All right, we're at a 13.43 VIX, so that's not a lot of fear. Okay, even like last week, if you notice, the ranges have shrunk. That's volume being lower, and that's volatility now going away, right? So even last week, it's not like we even tested previous day's lows and highs and stuff, all right? So that's why these ranges are smaller, all right? So that's your VIX. Not much fear at all. All right, we're gonna move on to the main event here, where we get into the nuts and the bolts, the granular stuff. All right, we get into the granular stuff here. Let's do it. Boom. There we go. There we go. Market profile, volume profile. Let's do it. I think we got Rosita. Maybe we have G-Man today. Let's see here. Now, let's just look at this beautiful profile here. G-Man, good morning. All right, let's look at structure. And right away, if you look at my beautiful profile here, you got a bounce. That's a little bell curve right there for you. Okay. Now, that most traded price of 24 hours very close to the real time. Real time trading hours is like 60, excuse me, 60.97, 60.98. Okay. Well, that voice is horrible. That's balance. So remember what I said, all right? So that level becomes important. Now we're at a bad spot right here. We're in right in the middle of the most traded price here. That's where price is right now. You want to get out of there, right? This is Chop City in here. All right, it's Chop City. So let's look real quick at what we did on Friday. Now we do have kind of like a poorish low here. Needs to be corrected. We could move down. Now we did in the overnight move down here into this demand. So we popped out of this demand zone, right? And we have a poor high as well at the top. So a poor high at the lows and a poor high, a poor low at the lows and a poor high at the top. So this just means up here, longs got paid, poor trade location, got trapped, and then you push back down. Same thing at the bottom. So these profiles just have to get corrected. Now this could just mean a little boop, get some excess, and get some excess. Okay. So those are levels you want to be paying attention to today. So that's your 60.90 to 60.88. And you got a demand zone here. Okay. Now to the top, you got all-time highs. 61.11 is last week's highs with a poor high. This will be corrected. Okay. Now, you look at these how? Sellers want to defend this, buyers want to break out of it, right? Here, sellers want to break it, buyers want to defend it. It's basically how that's working. Okay. That's probably, and they got a supply zone here as well. But it's not a strong one, it's only an hour supply zone. 1 hour supply zone. Okay. Now, as far as inventory, we're in the middle. Right. Here's the middle of the overnight prices right there. Here's the middle of Friday. It's just like I said in here, which what you call this now is an inside out, right? I don't like trading these, but you are going to go like this or this because we're in the middle of balance. You're going to test one side. Okay? So this makes it kind of very easy for scenarios today. And let's do it. Makes it very easy. All right, let's go with the bull. So this is a 12-hour demand zone, this line. Okay. I want to see what the market does if we come down here. 60.90, 60.88. What does the market do? I want it to get away from the mean, right? And it will. So I'm going to get a test here, or if not up here. But if in the bullish case, okay, calm down here. Correct this poor low. And what are you going to do inside this demand zone? Right? Now you have the month of day VWAP right here at 60.80. 60.80 is your anchor VWAP for the month. Okay, so we have a couple things. It's kind of like a stacked demand zone. You have a 12-hour starting up here. Then you got another demand that's right here. So in this area, what do I want to see? I just want to see how the market reacts. Okay, so we're either going to dip in here, trap some bears to go back, probably through and test the other side, bounce. Okay, do we break the poor high 61.11 and make all all-time highs new ones, right? Now, I mentioned earlier in the video, SPX 6100 is a very, very large gamma strike. We almost hit it, but if we do hit it, we're going to get a big reaction. So I have an alert set there. So I'm going to be very cognizant of that level. Now, when you talk about those gamma levels, they're not exact signs. Sometimes they are. Sometimes you go over them and then you see a whip right back. You see the market makers, the dealers have to short futures. So you'll see a whip right back. because in a positive gamma environment, it's buy the dips and sell the rips, right? And you kind of like move, you trend higher because you buy the dips, sell the rips. Okay, that's how kind of positive gamma works, and that's what we're in. So, which means we could tag 6100, move above it, and kind of pull back again, right? But you just have to watch it. I don't know what's really going to happen. So anywhere in here, pullbacks are viable because we're in this balance range, right? So even down here, I wouldn't be crazy about it here, but even down here, even we can do maybe fill that gap and work our way back to here if we go that deep. Okay, that's the bull case. Now let's go to the bear case. You do have a supply here. It's only a 1 hour one, right? And then you have the poor high. Okay, this 6111 could also be a bull trap. Now I don't love being bearish on all-time highs. It's kind of like a fool's errand. It's hard. All right, it doesn't mean it can't work. It worked on Friday, right? So again, what do you want to see? We're going to get an inside out move. We're in the middle of balance. You're going to get a push out to this supply. If it does, if you get some resistance, if you come through here, you're going to break this week low, 69 to 60.88. How far do you go? Right? You hold on, maybe test the month to day VWAP and go into this demand, and you could fill the gap. Maybe we even test the bottom of the demand zone and pop up. Okay. Now the other way, you can also have a little bull trap here. Come up here, pop through this poor high like this. Boop. Suck in bulls, come back, and then you can test the most traded price around 60.98, 60.97, and see if you can break this week low. That's your 60.90 to 60.88, and see how far you can go. Okay, that's about it there. Moving on, Nasdaq time. Now look at this structure, right? We actually were gapping up in the Nasdaq. We're actually gapping up, and you notice, look at the profile, right? It's not the same. It's not this little nice little balanced bell curve, right? You got distribution here, then you got another distribution, and then you got excess put down here. So you double distribution. Now the key thing is here, the most traded price of the week is still all the way down here. That will probably move this week. Okay. Now the 24-hour has one here. It's 215.10 right here. Most likely going to move up today. Okay. So, but just like I said, the Nasdaq is not in balance. It's not. And if you look, the move on Friday, look at that. Opened. That's the only short, and it just ripped. It ripped up. I just realized that I forgot to chart this um, in the ES. My bad. I'm going to do this real quick with you guys here. You can see what I do here. Um, let's see here. That's the real-time trading hours for the ES. All I'm doing is charting it, and this is where I get my most traded prices of the week. This takes 2 seconds for me. All right, I'm just charting it. This is your Nasdaq. Nasdaq did not move its most traded price of the week higher. Okay, but we do have single prints put in here, so I will add single prints right here. So see, I'm already back with you guys. So let's copy this. We will make this now single prints. I have pre templates set up. Let's do that, and then we'll move these single prints up to right here, so we know we have emotional buying from the Nasdaq. All right. Well, that just moved on me, so I'm gonna have to take this back here, right there. So now we have single prints from the Nasdaq. Now let's just real quickly put the most traded price in the right spot of Friday. And I apologize, I didn't have this set. I thought I did. Okay. Now we go back. There's our most traded price. Let's throw this to the background a little bit. All right. Apologize for that, folks. Now, let's get into our structure. We talked about the double distribution, right? We talked about the little bit of short, all this long, right? Very, very bullish NASDAQ. Okay, very bullish NASDAQ. Now, let's look at some structure here. So, 50% retracement of Friday session is 21577. This is right here. Kind of lines up with the overnight lows and single prints below. You have a demand zone right here, right? That's what we have going on. Now, we're not in this like balance zone like we are in the ES. And this just makes these markets very hard to trade when there's a disconnect, right? When the Nasdaq's screaming higher, which it was on Friday, and you have ES struggling at the lows, right? With the Nasdaq screaming higher, the ES is not really going to fall apart. This is how it works. But then it makes it a weird trade because they're not in sync with each other. So as you know, a lot of sectors are falling. The Nasdaq, tech stocks are rising. It just makes it like a push and pull, where you don't get these nice, smooth, buttery price action. It's like weird, right? So it makes it a little difficult to trade it because I like to have markets in sync with each other. All right, ES and Nasdaq are at the lows, great. You'll get a nice move, right? But like what happens in these markets is the Nasdaq will only pull back to like the midpoint or the VWAP, and the ES will be at the lows, right? Because the Nasdaq's stronger. So you're not getting them both at the lows together. Then you get a less. Sometimes now what happens with that is you're either going to get one of two things. You're going to get now the ES will catch up with the Nasdaq, get in sync, and you get a nice move. Or like what happened on Friday is it doesn't catch up, right? Because it did finally make a nice move up, but then it didn't have enough strength to go higher, right? So that's what's going on there. Let's look at some other. Now we have our last week's highs, right? That's 21669 right here, orange. Last week's highs. We did breach that overnight, but now we're back underneath it. Okay, where are we at? Right at last Friday's most traded price. Right there. Okay, right there. So we're holding these higher prices, which is bullish, right? This 21626, that actually can become the most traded price of the week. Okay, it's building that volume right here. It's very bullish, holding these single prints. Okay, this is very bullish. Structure, structure. Okay. Now let's look. I'm trying to see other things. Okay, we have some other things here. Here's value area low, 21598, lines right up with the overnight low, lines right up with the single prints and the midpoint. So that's what we're going to concentrate on. Okay. You did not have a poor high in the Nasdaq, but you kind of have a poor high here in the overnight. That is not very great excess. You can see it right here. It's kind of squarish. So have to see what that turns out to be. Okay. So then we have supply right up here. So right away with that, we can get right into scenarios. Again, I apologize for. I thought I had my charts fixed already, but I didn't. Let's look at the Nasdaq here. And we'll go with the bull. Okay. Now, where is the bulls want to defend here? I just said it before, right? Value area low, 215.98. That encompasses the overnight low. That encompasses the 50% retracement of Friday and these single prints. Okay. Now, single prints. Talk about single prints a lot. They're emotional buying. See this thin volume? That's how thin that is. You almost can't even see it. That is single prints. That's emotional buying. Now, when you have that single prints, right? We got to talk about Alfie. Okay. That is a toothpick holding up an elephant, right? So I want to see in single prints if that is supportive, that is bullish. Because in a weak market, they get taken out. Because look, you don't have support here. Where is somebody going to put a stop loss here? They're not, right? So you're just going to get a symmetric move back down. So what I want to see, I want to see the market push down into this zone. What does it do? And you got a big demand zone here at 12 hours, so we could probably keep that in there as well. How deep do you go, right? You could even boop and then off to the races, and you just chug higher, right? See if you can test this overnight high. Now, Nvidia's weak off right now, right? Now, if you're in the options market, it looks like Nvidia is going to 150. Be honest with you, okay? Even with the negative news, this could be a dip buying opportunity for Nvidia. So we'll just have to see, right? We'll just have to see. That's kind of what I'd like to see. Now, what you also could see here is you're right at the most traded price, right, of Friday. We could hold this, right? Let's say we push down a little bit and hold. Well, then you can probably work yourself way up to make all-time highs. So probably all I'm interested in. I mean, obviously we can come down here as well and pop up, and maybe we come up to here. Okay. Now, bear side. Bear side. I'm gonna pay attention to this, all right, because you have last week's highs at 21669 right here, the orange, right? And you can also see it right here, right? So that comes into play. Last week's highs. We have a supply zone in a poor high up here. Sellers want to defend this, okay? They want to defend it. Now, we're at the most traded price of Friday, building out value here. So, a lot of participants in here, okay? So, what you could see here is I'd like to see a possible move up into the supply, maybe tap this, maybe a little bull trap here, come through, lower high. You're going to test this area, 21626. If you can break this, you're going to test the week low. Okay? If this market's weak, you're going to start ripping into this single prints. Test this 12-hour demand, and you might test Friday's lows. That would be 21485. Now you have another demand. There's a lot of demand zones in the Nasdaq. So, can you test this, the bottom of that demand? Maybe 21424, and then you might get a bounce. Okay, might get a bounce. Now, month-to-day VWAP's at 213.83. Also lines up with this gap. Okay, you could also touch the top of this gap, hit month-to-day VWAP, and bounce as well. Obviously, big time weakness would be taken out and fill in this gap. I don't know if that's in the cards, but we have to see. Okay, that's the scenarios, folks. Now, again, if you guys ever have any questions, just let me know. Let me know. All right. Now, of course, we got a game plan today. I like it. I like it. Now, Mondays are a little weird, right? Because Mondays is gotta like digest the weekend, digest Friday's move. I like to wait a little bit for the story to unfold more on a Monday. I wouldn't say that they're my best days. I mean, last week I had a nice trade on Monday, but I would say I'd like to get more information on Mondays. Okay. Now, again, if you haven't already subscribed, set an alert, and join me every day at 8, 10 a.m. Have a cup of coffee, have a cup of water, have a cup of tea, and join your boy. I'll give you the lowdown on the markets, all right? Recaps, news, the whole shebang. Just come join me, all right? And of course, if you enjoyed yourself today, please smash that like button. That would be much appreciated. Now, I still owing you, and I'm owing you big time, these 3 videos that I have to push out. Of course, you can see my past ones. You can go to X at Gonzo719, my YouTube shorts as well, and also check out my TikTok, Gonzo719 Trader. You can see my trading videos as well. Leave a comment and subscribe to those as well, or question. Now we'll get back to you with that. All right. Now, everybody, have a great day. Have a great day. Volume today is about 80. I think I saw 86% relative volume, a little better than it was last week in the pre-market. A little better. Hopefully, we get a little better volume today. So, everybody have a green day. No trade's a trade. I'll see everybody tomorrow.